So when you think about the program, how did it help you in shifting your energy and not just your health, but just generally your energy?
So I think if I reflect on my own journey with
Yeah.
you, I think it started with just doing the human design. I think that was my starting point. I think just understanding the chakras and understanding the role of each chakra was my starting point, was my starting journey, because I don't think I understood what the chakra did besides getting into the details of the open and the closed chakras and understanding that was my starting point. And I think somebody receiving that knowledge and understanding where they are in that journey is very, very helpful. So I think that was my starting point in this entire space. And I think that allowed me to understand myself at a much more deeper level and
Mm.
then figure out where were the missing gaps and where was I not true to myself. I think that was my journey with regard to understanding the energies, because I'm like, I now understood what chakras I have, where my energies should be and where they're not, and then I could start reflecting. So I think when I got that inner clarity and became more self-aware, I think those were my turning points.
I like that. I love that. It makes so much sense. What was the unexpected breakthrough or realization that you had during the experience?
I think um, I think I learned to understand myself a lot more. I don't think I came into this thinking that I'm going to figure myself out a lot more. And let me explain what I mean by that. I think as an individual who's been a very high performance, high career person, I think the energy that you carry there is a lot your masculine energy, right? And learning to then be aware of your feminine energy and learning to surrender in that space, that was something I knew I surrendered generally, but sometimes I don't know how much I did or did not. So I think understanding that bit of myself and eventually just learning to just surrender and trust in timing was something that I learned through the process.
I love that. What do you appreciate most about me that you think others may not see?
I think you are your authentic self when you coach. I don't see performance when you're sharing and when you're talking. I think it's genuine. I think it's authentic, and I think you speak from the heart. And as compared to somebody who might think, okay, she's a coach. For me, I didn't perceive you as you're my coach, and I think that was the difference. And I think when you come as a coach, it comes with that performance of putting it in a certain way, behaving in a certain way. I think that for me was something that was not there. And I think that would be something that somebody might not see.
Yeah, I love that. Never heard that before, and I really resonate with it. When you think about the possibilities like that are new for you, what do you feel open to now because of this work?
I think um, the program with you was my starting point in my journey, in my taking my journey further and forward. I think the opportunities have just only expanded. And I think I needed that foundation that you gave me to get going, because I feel now things have just are just opening up their way. They're synchronizing the way they should be. I've had more the right people come into my life further after that to take it further in whichever way, right? If it's my soul journey or if it's my work journey or whichever journey it is, it's just moving. But I was on my soul seeking journey prior to that. I think you helped me kind of push that. And then after that, everything is just open. And now the people that have kind of are guiding me through my next phase of my journey are also it's just happening, right? It's just like step by step by step. So I think you came in at a really beautiful time for me, especially because I think I was at a bit of a plateau and trying to figure out how to take my spiritual journey a little further. And without realizing that, it just all fell in. I think I just learned the language, the understanding of what I was going through, but not really understanding it. I think I embody it a lot more now
Mm,
than I kind of would have when we started talking. I didn't speak that language, but today I can speak that language because I
mm.
understand it fully, and everything else is just moved from there, and things have just happened after.
Sometimes we just need that support to connect all the dots so we can
Hmm?
quantum leap. What would you say to somebody that is maybe considering being on the concierge and getting that guidance and having a trusted advisor to work with, what would you say to them?
I'd say truly something that I personally think I didn't completely do is what I would
Yeah,
actually say to them in
yeah,
hindsight
yes,
is that um, I had a when I went into the program, I felt that the program should have kind of delivered on X, Y, Z. I
yeah,
didn't fully surrender to what I could take in,
yeah,
and I think that would be something that I'd say if somebody coming in, you will get what you want,
yeah,
and I think you had shared this in the beginning. This space is what you make out of it,
yeah,
but sometimes you don't understand what you make out of it
yes,
because you don't know how to surrender.
yeah,
And I think that is something as my hindsight, as my reflection, as I've grown as an individual, over the period of months and now with my further journey, is that sometimes you can get everything you need to get from this program. It's just how you take it, because I feel we touched on my health, we touched on my gut issues, we touched on my obviously just understanding myself as an individual, what was stopping me, my all of that. We spoke on different things, but I think I did allow myself to fully merge all of that. And I think after I came out and after I, had time to just maybe integrate things that I had learned and received, and then have my own deeper journeys, I was able to see what I missed in that journey, which I could have done more of.
yes. Which
So yeah.
in itself, I think is such a beautiful lesson on receiving, because so many of my clients, and including myself, this was one of my biggest challenges. We struggle to fully receive. And so even when the thing is in front of us, we don't necessarily take all of it, because as high performers that we are, we're like, no, I gotta do, I gotta do, I gotta be moving forward.
Yeah.
And this is why it's so important for me, which you now are, that I always have my alumni, so that any point after on the journey or something new, a project, something changed in your life, you can always come back to me as somebody that's connected the dots for you in the past and that can continue to connect the dots for
Yeah.
you, because it is a journey, isn't it?
Yeah. It is completely a journey.
Beautiful. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that.